Hello and welcome. My name is Ariel Talley. I am a fourth year BSLA student attending Cal Poly Pomona. Today I will be discussing potential project sites in the cities of Hemet, Jacinto, and Idyllwild. The selection process will show the current condition of each site with a video walkthrough. I will be discussing the potential relationships that these places have with mycelium, fungi, and lichens, all of which have remediation qualities that will help the city, the environment, and people. Let's begin. The old Hemet stockyard was created in 1907 by W.F. Whittier in an effort to bring horse racing to town rather than to the neighboring city of Paris. This track was specifically created for harness racing that required standardbred horses, which were different from the thoroughbred horses because they could trot or pace compared to their galloping saddleback cousins. One of these standardbred horses was named Wilbur Lew, who set a world record in 1910 for being 3.5 seconds faster than the previous record. After Whittier died, the site became known for thoroughbred horse racing, motorcycle racing, plane landings, and car racing. The neighboring areas of the site are considered to be located in downtown Hemet and in a lower socioeconomic area. Downtown is considered to be park poor, having only street trees and small sidewalk patches of grass to enjoy. There is a great opportunity to bring more biodiversity into the neighborhood while creating a safe place for people to enjoy during the day. Adjacent to the property is one of the older houses of Hemet, known as the Meyer House. When Hemet was first starting to develop, it was mostly agricultural. Growing roses, apricots, and a variety of citrus, the town did not have any lumber. Whittier convinced Meyer to move to town and establish a lumber business. The 1908 house is now refurbished and considered to be a historic landmark for the city. The stockyard itself has historical value. Residents are currently trying to save it as a historical landmark. The 36-acre property still has the original racetrack, a 300-seat grandstand, paddocks, corrals, and a 2-story cottage built in 1888. It had been relocated to be the manager's house on the stockyard. It is known to be the oldest building in the city. It was also used to film the opening sequence to the 2003 version of Seabiscuit. Because there has been over 100 years of racing on the property, it is easy to suggest the idea that the soil is compacted and most likely nutrient deficient. This could mean years of amending the soil to be ready for planting and use. However, there are methods that restore soil nutrients and help educate the public simultaneously. A few ideas are using ectomycorrhizal fungi to help restore nutrients to new plants that are used on the roots of newly planted vegetation. A few ideas that could incorporate mycelium, fungi, and lichens are a rock garden which uses lichens to show the slow metamorphosis of rock into soil nutrients, a bioluminescent forest to light the area at night, a sensory garden made up of textural fungi elements, and a field of lights that showed the exchange of electricity between the mycelium and the plant. The next site is located in the city of Jacinto. Cottonwood Avenue is one of the main roads that connects the outskirts of town with the rest of the area. It is also home to agricultural water runoff that contains parasites and is a breeding ground for mosquitoes during the summer. Contextual land use is key to understanding the severity of why this problem needs attention. There are 2 suburban neighborhoods amidst massive acreage of dairyland. The Eastern Municipal Water District also has a water reclamation site located near these areas. Cottonwood Avenue bypasses these agricultural areas to stumble upon a middle school, a shopping plaza, and more suburban houses. The flow of the water and its lack thereof is a public health concern, with the water runoff carrying potentially dangerous materials into the water table. Historically, Hemet and Jacinto fell under the control of Spanish Franciscans in the late 1700s. The 1820s saw an adobe mission outpost known as Casa Loma. This is when the Padres established a connection to the Indians. They were known as the Saboba Band of Luiseno Indians and are native to Jacinto and Hemet. Before the Spanish, Jacinto was a trading place between the Cahuilla Indians and the Saboba Indians. In 1883, the government set aside 3,172 acres of land for the Saboba Indians. Jacinto was known to be an agricultural town, with most land being dedicated to dairy farming. Along Cottonwood Avenue and Warren Road, there were and still are multiple dairy farming families that lived there for generations. The largest in particular were the Scoutons, who sold off their land to developers and other dairy farmers. Now the area is slowly being turned into an urban sprawled paradise, and the farms are moving away. The ones who are staying now have to face new problems such as dangerous standing water and water runoff. Interesting new studies have been found to help with this problem, one being the use of mycofiltration. Mycofiltration uses different types of fungal strands that can survive in different conditions. The strands are placed in wood or leaf litter, which is laying on top of a perforated pipe that carries the newly cleaned water away from the site, allowing it to percolate back into the groundwater. Because there is already a small basin designed to carry off the water runoff, it can easily be transitioned into an outlet for the water while also housing native plants that can repel the insects in the area, making it manageable, more biodiverse, and healthier to the neighboring people. The third and final site is Idyllwild, California. This small mountain town is located in the San Bernardino National Forest and is still recovering from the effects of the Cranston fire that occurred in July of 2018. It was ruled as arson. There were 12 structures that were burned down, and there were 7,000 people who were told to evacuate their homes. Thankfully, there were no deaths. The fire consumed 13,139 acres and left nothing to hold the soil. Due to the sudden lack of erosion control, the main highways leading into Idyllwild were blocked by landslides. All of these environmental disasters led to a sudden decrease in tourism, which is what the town relies on for income. Presently, the brave citizens have kept their spirits alive in hopes that the forest does recuperate. In some parts it has, although there are still some clear reminders that it still needs more work. Work that can be mitigated through the use of restoring the soil quality with fungi. Once more trees are inoculated with the ectorrhizal fungi, it will help jumpstart the growth of the native flora and fauna in the area. This design would have to introduce ways to help keep the forest growing in the midst of a climate change-related disaster. Each site is in urgent need of an intervention. These topics are all related to how we connect with our environment. After much consideration, I'm going to focus on the old Hemet stockyard. Its location is very close to downtown Hemet, and it will have a great impact upon the residents of the area as well as revitalizing the city. It also has the largest potential to experiment with the relationship between historical maintenance and the innovation of using fungal networks to restore the soil. Thank you so much for listening.